makes no sense. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I'm like defending Mike a little bit. This is a bit of a harsh criticism. I don't know, it seems like I'm actually disagreeing with everything that I think is going to be said instead of what I thought at the start of the video, which is that I was gonna agree. Maybe I'm insane, I doubt it. I know. Let's check up on Mike from Modern Goalkeeping.
For those not familiar with Modern Goalkeeping, he's one of the biggest social media goalkeeping influencers on YouTube and TikTok right now. And I've made a couple videos on him on the past, critiquing him for lying about signing pro contract, lying about being professional trials.
I've been a professional goalkeeper for the last 10 years.
Great save by Macklin Robinson. Robinson.
My channel only exists because Goalkeeper Golaremi has these awesome breakdowns of Mike. I definitely couldn't do videos this well. I tried, nobody watched them. We're just gonna watch his breakdown and we're basically gonna confirm or deny and just give our take. So here we go.
What's good, guys? Tyler Beck, GK Golaremi. Whoever's not familiar with the channel, I'm a professional goalkeeper who's played pro in Croatia and Finland.
Okay, so he's doing his intro. We're gonna skip forward.
That's why we're doing this match analysis, because I think this is the first real competitive games he would have played in since around 2017-18. So definitely very interested to see how he does.
Okay, great. I'm excited. We get to see him play. And it looks like where he's playing is about 5 minutes from where I live. He is playing at my original stadium, WakeMed Stadium. That's where I first signed as a rookie.
Matchup is against the Indiana alumni, and there's actually a fair amount of pro experience on this Indiana squad, so you should expect them to be pretty solid. So I'm just going to let this first goal Mike's concedes play out, and then we're going to go over exactly what he did wrong in a second. So this goal just...
Okay, I don't even need to look past that first one. I can already tell you he came out wildly, way too quick. I'm assuming that's exactly what GK Golaremi is going to say. He left himself exposed when he had 3 defenders already back there that dropped in behind the net. Let's see.
Shows a lack of patience and, of course, experience from Mike right here. Where this guy's cutting back across and going away from the goal, Mike just needs to leave him right here. Let this defender that's so much closer step to him and just stay in your goal, defend your goal. That's your number one job, is just defend your goal, defend your line. So right here, Mike steps up.
And the thing is, that's like basic goalkeeping stuff. And that's why I think a lot of people make so many negative videos, including myself, on Mike. Because he has such a large following, a lot of guys and kids will watch this stuff and say, yeah, I got to come out. I got to break down the angle. I got to show him something. It's like, no, any actual decent goalkeeper would tell you that's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. So I'm
going to go for the Meg also. But right here, this is what I'm talking about. You're not in the position to actually put him under pressure here, and by the time you're spreading.
Another thing too, his knees completely down. I see so many holes. There's no movement down here to attack or attempt to even react to the ball. This is bad goalkeeping.
The player already has enough time to just pick out a pass, and you're pretty much eliminating 4 players from the play right there. Finish again, deflection, Meg, definitely unlucky, but Mike would have been much better off on this goal if he just stayed on his line, let his defenders deal with it, and then try to force him to take a shot under pressure and just hope that you got the right positioning and reactions to cover the shot. A couple minutes later, bad goal to give up. Really, really bad goal to give up here. And Mike does a couple things wrong right here. Right on the shot, you can see he's loaded up to his right side. He's putting all of his weight on that right foot right here, just cheating, thinking that he's going to be shooting to his right or to the player's left, and he's loading up all that weight, and then he realizes too late that, oh wait, the ball's actually going to my left side, and you have to shift your whole body weight over and then just really slow getting the hands down. But this is really set off by just cheating to that side. And then once you get it back shifting over here, the hands just kind of coming down like a tree. I mean, that's just very slow with the hands there. You gotta be shooting him towards the ground. He's almost like aiming for the ball, and it just kind of sneaks under him. And this habit that Mike has on cheating on shots like this was 100% picked up from just doing years of focusing on content creating instead of actually improving his goalkeeping abilities. Once you really start looking for it, you just see in so many of his videos of him cheating to a specific side where he knows where the ball is going, and obviously just trying to set up a camera top hand save to pose for some views. And even in videos where he tries to make a big point about how he doesn't know where the ball is going, it's still pretty obvious that he is cheating and he does know where the coach is going to shoot. Again, just trying to make some content.
Who the f says I know where the f balls are going, guys? The goalie coach want to score too.
So I don't agree with that, actually. I thought he had pretty decent technique. Yes, you want to wait until you know where the ball is largely going to go before you move. But based on what I just watched, he didn't move too much. He just kind of started to go one way. Yes, he wasn't loaded completely correctly, but I don't think the technique was too far off. He shot the hands going towards the ball. You never want to really be leaning back unless like you're really out of position. And then it's just basic luck if you make the save or not. I'm going to go ahead and disagree. I think his technique was actually fairly decent there. He just didn't have enough time to see it. It went underneath the defender. He saw it late, and that's why his hands were late to the ball. Now, I would probably have saved that. Goalkeeper Golaremi would probably have saved that because we have the experience. We know, okay, yeah, I can kind of cheat to this side since that's the open look and that's where he's largely probably going to go. But there's still a good chance that it's going to go through his legs, so I need to be ready to go back across. And that's why we'd be able to make that save, and he doesn't. That's just an experience thing. That's not really like a technique thing. I think that's a bit unfair. I've given up goals like that in the past. I mean, it's a tough situation. So
where Mike's trying to say he doesn't know where the ball's going. So right here, recovery back to the line. One, his positioning is horrific right here. I mean, that near post is so open from where the shot's actually coming from. It's coming from an angle. And here you can see already loaded up on that right leg. Already loaded up on that right leg. Ball has not been hit yet. You can't say that you don't know where this ball's going. See the striker's coming in the frame right here. He just hits it. Already loaded up. Of course, no hands. This one's a little tougher just because you can't see the striker, but you can hear the shot in this video. So you guys are gonna have to trust me on this one. You can go back and check it out yourself. Maybe I can edit it in. But right now, still not hit. Still not hit. The ball's hit like right here is when you can hear the striker actually make contact. So of course on this one, 100% he knows where it's going. Gets a save, if that's what you want to call it, and of course celebrates it. Again, here's just the last one. You already see him loading up to the right. Loading up to the right. You can't see his legs, but you know he's planted on that right leg, ready to spring. Ball hasn't been hit. Right when ball's, I mean, this ball's still on the striker's or the coach's foot, and he's already just loaded up going right. And of course, just picks up his little top hand save.
Okay, so I'm going to stand by what I said. Yes, I agree with goalkeeper Golaremi that he spends most of his time knowing where the ball's going to go. I don't know how much training goalkeeper Golaremi's done, but you know, that's a good part of our training. Our job is to identify where the ball's going to go largely as soon as it gets kicked or kind of have an idea before the ball is kicked. Now, I'm just going to go back to what I said. It's about experience. He's not able to make up for the fact that he trains that all the time because he's never been put in game-like situations and scenarios. I tend to think that Mike would be a lot better goalkeeper if he just got more experience, if he just played more games, because yes, the training that he does sometimes is absolutely ludicrous and ridiculous, but another half of the training is not bad. It's stuff that we do at the end of our session, if that makes sense. It's like the last to do, all right, in case there is an upper 90, maybe 7 out of 10 times we can save it. He's still out there every single day training in some capacity. He's gonna get better. He's not looking great, but at the same time, I think it's a bit nitpicky to be like, okay, well, at the same time, you should never do this because he's loaded up on his right foot and whatever. Sorry, goalkeeper Golaremi, but there are plenty of times where I've had to load up on the wrong foot because the ball looks like it's going that way. It's knuckling, it's doing whatever. I have to step that way and then it moves or it takes a deflection or whatever. You still have to be able to react and go the opposite way. So I'm not super upset with him loading early. It's just a matter of experience. Can you get the timing down? Whatever. So, all right, interesting turn of events here in this video. Let's keep playing it.
It's across the middle of the field, really good finish. There's no issues with Mike on this one. This is just a good finish. Doesn't get the best push off, but that's going to be really tough save. You're not expected to save that. And here comes the fourth goal. And I will say Mike's defenders did him no favors over this tournament. Right here, little clip ball, nice little ball. Open wide, tap in. I mean, again, there's not really much he can do here. I don't think that ball is really in range where you could cut that out. And
agreed
on that, he'll just tuck it on the near post. So I think his positioning is actually okay with that. He might even be a little too far off his near post. But again, if teams are just playing one-touch passes in your box in this situation, like you're not really expected to get the saves as the keeper. This is more on the defenders. And once again, Mike's defenders letting him down. Just really clumsy tackle right here. And bad PK to give up. Again, PKs, you're going to go the right way or you're not, and it's just the way it is. So, of course, PKs, I'm not going to say that he should be saving this penalty either.
Okay, so goalkeeper Golaremi, at least a little more level and fair about his critiques here.
Tournament, I'll go over why there's no film of the second game when they got thumped 8-0, but right now we're just going to break down this game as well. So like I said before, Mike's defenders do him no favors this tournament. I don't know what this guy's thinking. That's just such a dumb foul. There's no reason for it. I don't know why you'd even try to win this ball. Just get your body in between the goal and the player. That's all he had to do. Mike has to eat a PK, gets wrong-sided, and of course he got a red card, so they got to play a man down. Here, Mike actually pulls up. Really nice save right here. Good reactions. Here, he has a good set position, gets a good read on the ball. Again, loaded up on his right foot, and just gets two strong hands of the ball.
And see, here's the thing. I actually don't like Mike's positioning here. I'd draw a circle if I could, but he's actually about a half step too far to his left, to his near post. At least that would be my take. Because if you know anything about goalkeeping, your angles are important. Well, how do you find your optimal angle in a goal? Well, here's what I do. This is what I teach everybody. This is how I was taught. This is how the best are taught. You put a cone exactly in the middle of the goal line of your goal. And then you take an imaginary string and you attach it exactly to that cone in the middle, to wherever the ball is when it's struck. You should be exactly in the middle of that string. That's your optimal angle. If I'm drawing it here, he's actually too far to his near post. Probably would have been a simpler save if he was in his proper positioning. Instead, it looks like an even cooler save. We call that an ODP save because he was out of position. Now, it's still a good save. It would be an easier save if he was in position. That's my take on this. So me and goalkeeper Golaremi actually disagreeing on a couple of these. This one, yeah, it's okay. He's defended the goal, but the angles and the positioning here are really off, I think.
Here, it's a pretty good end result. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the save because it is a great save, but it is something to take notice of, that is that this was the only save of the whole tournament that remotely resembled anything that Mike posts 90% on TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Like even for me, over the winter, I played in 4 games in the US Open Cup qualification rounds, and I think I left my feet for what you would consider a camera save once out of those 4 matches. And one went to extra time, so it's almost 400 minutes of play. And the rest of the time is just playing with the ball at your feet, taking crosses, playing high off your line, organizing your defense, and really just trying to play out of the back and handling more routine shots. And that's why I was so critical from the start with Mike's content, where I was trying to steer kids away, young players away from just trying to train these flashy saves, because it is just such a small percentage of what you do. And if that's all you're going to train, you're going to get exposed just like Mike here when you're actually put in a real competitive session.
Okay, so again, I agree. That's why I made my very first video ever on Mike, because I noticed a lot of my young goalkeepers were having these bad habits, or, you know, bringing him up and asking me questions on his legitimacy. And however, I will say that over the years, I've learned that, frankly, there's type of content that tends to do really well, and there's a type of content that only specific few are going to listen to. There's going to be millions of people that are going to watch Mike's quick TikToks where he's flying around with a parachute, jumping over a coffee table. Like, it's different, it's weird, it's novel. That's what gets a lot of people's attentions, general people's attention. And that's what it is to go viral and be a good content maker. How can you appeal as generally as possible? Me sitting here talking about the intricacies and details of goalkeeping, that's not very entertaining. That's not the most fun unless you're already into it. You already have an appreciation and a decent understanding. So I get it. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to find a balance between, one, doing something that I actually enjoy, doing something that I think is valuable and, you know, you guys will actually appreciate it and get something out of, as well as something that can be fairly general, apply to the largest audience without sacrificing the message that I actually want to get across. And that's a tough balancing act. Obviously, we're still working on it. I'm back to reaction videos, but yeah, it's something that I've come to appreciate a little bit more. And so I'm not as peeved at guys like Mike as I used to be. It's just, how can we find a balance? And, you know, maybe the balance is them making these viral videos and then me responding. Guys like me and goalkeeper Golaremi kind of setting the record straight, and hopefully I can make it entertaining in the meantime.
Mike does really well on this one right here, where maybe he could cut this ball out here. Probably not. I think it's a good idea to stay and then kind of stalk, but he does well stepping out, making himself big, turns his shoulders a little bit, but it's expected, makes himself big, got his trailing leg behind him, and just forces a kind of tough angled shot right there. But actually, pretty good job going for the block. Here, Mike just gets caught cheating again. Nowhere as bad as the other one. I mean, these close range ones are kind of tough, but 100% Mike thought he was shooting to his left right here. And he kind of has the right idea where you would hope that number 6 right here would cover that near post, but he just ends up leaning a little too much, because if you're set on this and you got your body weight forward, that's a pretty easy, simple kick save right there. But instead, because he's leaning all the way to the left, can't stick his foot out, gets punished.
I wouldn't say it's a simple kick save. I'd say it's a pretty difficult kick save. I mean, you're pretty much star save and spread all the way out. That's not something that a lot of people can do. So yeah, don't lean. I think you can react a little bit better, but like, come on, goalkeeper, go Remy.
It's a pretty tough play, because if he does hit this back across to that far post, if you're not cheating a little bit or anticipating it's going that way, it's going to be really tough to be able to get.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he even just kind of went back on himself there, saying exactly what I did, which is like, that's tough. You know, you do maybe have to kind of cheat. That's why I said do a star save, because there's no way at freaking 7 yards away, how close this guy is, that you even have the capacity to react that quickly. Just star save it. Get as close as you can and star save the heck out of that thing.
Save if it's a well-placed ball. But it's just part of goalkeeping, where if they're going to place a perfect shot in the corner, then it's whatever. It's not our job to be saving those. It's really these ones that come in around your body, ones that could and should be saved. Those are the ones that you need to keep out of your net. Here, just simple playing out of the back. Again, this is going to show Mike's inexperience as well. Right there, that's a fine pass right here. But what you need to be doing, this defender has no options. Mike needs to be tracking that ball back and going along that end line to show for another possible way to play out of this. But you can see here, Mike just plays his ball and then just starts walking slowly and then just stays there. You can't be doing that. You, especially in these small-sided games, you need to be that extra player, and you're down a.
Absolutely, 100%. Nothing else to say on that.
Showing for the ball as much as possible. So this is just one really lazy play, low IQ play. And right here, just another really, really lazy, low IQ play. I mean, this is probably the worst goal he gave up, in my opinion, by far. Comes up with a big save. We'll just break this down after. So this is actually a really good angle on what happens. So right here, shot through traffic. This first save, really good save. And then right here, this is to get up just in one of the laziest ways I've ever seen a goalkeeper get up in a competitive match. 2 hands on the thigh, just kind of standing up. Ball's still in your box, and I just can't even understand how you wouldn't be springing back to your feet right here. Stand straight up right here. So just not an athletic stance, not ready for anything. Just stand straight up and then slow shot to the corner. Like, this is really just inexcusable for a goalkeeper. And right here is just another angle. You just see how slow he's standing up, not set at all. That should be a routine save into the corner right there. And inexcusable is really just the best word I can think of for this certain situation. Where I get it, goalkeepers make mistakes. I've made countless mistakes before. I've cost my team points, games, kicked out of tournaments by just making dumb mistakes.
Well, that's not good. I'm gonna have to go ahead and disagree again. It's just gonna go back to that experience. He got up like that because he thought his defender had the ball. He made the first save, and then his defender had the ball. And instead of clearing the ball or finding an outlet pass, both of his defenders lose the ball and then proceed to cut off his sight and then not block the shot. It's like, how is that inexcusable? Yeah, I would be up quickly and be ready to go and be screaming at my defenders, but that's because I've been a professional goalkeeper for 10 years. I can't tell you any of my 18, 19-year-old advanced goalkeepers that are probably going to end up going pro or at least Division 1. They're not doing that. So why would Mike, who has never even played at their level, do that? That makes no sense. So I think, honestly, I'm a little bit, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm like defending Mike a little bit. Like, this is a bit of a harsh criticism. He's not like doing badly. And of all the videos that I've seen and criticisms that goalkeeper Remy has given of Mike, this is probably the harshest one for no reason. Like, I get that he's trying to break down and really show where Mike fucked up, but honestly, like, you can tell it's a bit nitpicky. They look bad, I guess, on the outset, kind of. When you actually break it down, they're not that bad of goals for the circumstances and who he's playing against and what's actually happening. So, like I said, I kind of can't believe this. So let's keep watching.
That this is the effort that Mike put into a situation where he's playing in his first competitive game in probably forever, 5 years or so, and That's really like the effort you're going to put into that, especially as someone who likes to talk about how hard they're working all the time, always posting probably every time they're on the field training. Just make sure that they're sweating for a quick video to make sure they can tell their followers how hard they're working on the field.
He wants to look
at
cool.
this session
He wants
I
to
just
look
did.
cool at
And then
the
you're
end of the
put into an
day. So,
actual
of
game
course, that's why he
scenario,
stood
and
up
that's
like
the
that.
effort you put forth. It really is like honestly just embarrassing. And it's definitely just some food for thought for a lot of you younger players out there. When you see someone constantly talking about how hard they're working and they're always shoving it in your face that I'm at the field today, I'm doing this today, I'm doing this today. Those guys, they're probably not working as hard as you think they are, and they're trying to put on a front. Because the guys actually putting in the work, they know they can just do that in silence in the dark. They don't need to broadcast to everybody about every little thing that they're doing. They know that if they put the work in and they do it right, that when they get put on a field in this situation, they're going to perform. And then that's where you're actually going to see the work come through. Then right here, Mike eats a rocket. Good finish, but again, not the best effort from him. Right here, you can see that's not what you want to be doing. This just looks like he's scared of the ball, which again, in this setting, you are not allowed to be. So right here, as it's hit, you see he's just dropping that knee. At this point, you're sunk. If you're dropping your knee right here, you can't push off. All you have is however far your arms can reach, and you're just not giving yourself a chance for a reaction. That knee, you got to stay on your feet until you're ready to dive.
I agree with that. Yeah, the dude's 5-6 yards away, so he probably doesn't have the physical ability to react that quickly, but don't go down to your knee. At least make yourself as big as possible. I agree with that.
If a player's going to tuck it into a lower bottom corner, so be it. It's the game. You're not going to save everything. This isn't one that you'd expect Mike to save.
Now, see, that one I actually would expect Mike to save because he's outside of the box. Your defenders are framing the goal. There's only largely one place where he can put it. And now Mike isn't cheating where he should have been. He should have been cheating to that left post. He probably would have got there. I don't really know what this breakdown's about. Maybe I'm insane. I doubt it. I don't know. It seems like I'm actually disagreeing with everything that I think is going to be said instead of what I thought at the start of the video, which is that I was going to agree with everything goalkeeper Golaremi said. So I don't know what the heck is going on.
Good finish. And here again, same idea. This is a tough save. He did get a hand on this. Maybe you could do it a little better if it's in your range right there. And this is also 100% on this defender. I don't know what that type of ball was. And then right here, he does get a hand and just can't keep it out. So that's definitely savable. But again, that's a tough one.
Agreed, savable, but really, really tough. If he would have saved it, If he wouldn't have saved it, which he didn't, same thing.
We haven't seen too much of this game. I have no issues with this. There's no one open, whatever, just float it up. But then Mike makes a really bad mistake off of this, which I'm sure, again, just lack of experience, not playing. Where this gets lobbed over here, there is no excuse for this guy to be this open in this situation. Mike just cleared the ball. As he's dropping back to his line, he's got to be telling this center midfielder right here to drop back. You can't just let a guy be sitting on your end line like that. There's no offsides in this tournament, and then he's just going to punish you for it. So again, that just communication, I'm sure that's also not a strong point of Mike's game just because he doesn't really play. And here's the final standings. I mean, you guys can see, Ben just got smoked throughout this whole tournament. And like I said, I don't have any video to Dortmund's 8-0 loss to Newtown Pride, and apparently the video just doesn't exist. TST never released it, and while searching for that video, I actually found this interesting article written by a Dortmund supporter who was also a journalist as well. And apparently, in his recap of the Newtown Pride Dortmund match, that Noah Beck, who's another TikToker who I actually have never heard of, punched somebody or something and got a red card, and the game was just really, really ugly game. So this is the only match of the whole tournament that TST didn't release. So there's no film on it. They haven't put anything out on it. And
yeah,
I think
remember
it's
this
really
when it
just
happened.
because they don't want to.
It was like also some stuff with Clint Dempsey's team in Dallas or something.
That's all I really could find out about Mike's performance in this match is that he conceded 8 goals off of 12 shots. And personally, I hate using save percentage as any indication for how a goalkeeper is performing, just because a golazo and a howler equal the same on paper, and also world-class save and routine save are equal the same. But it's pretty safe to say if you're conceding 8 off of 12 shots that you did not ball out that game either. So I'll link this article in the description. It's a pretty interesting read just on Dortmund's performance altogether. Also has a very interesting talking point talking about the problems of social media influencers, which I couldn't agree more with.
Okay, so that's about the end of the video. It seems like Mike's team was just a shit show from the beginning. He was already set up to fail. Interesting video. I'm glad that I actually watched it and decided to tune back into modern goalkeeping and what the heck is going on in that world. And at the end of the day, I just want anyone who's watching this to get as much value out of my take as possible. And the only way that that happens is if I give you a take that's as accurately reflective of the reality that I'm experiencing, that we all share together, as humanly possible. Because then if you accurately can, map the reality that's around you, whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, whatever your life is, you can navigate it more successfully. You want to be a professional athlete, professional goalkeeper, you actually have a clue of what it takes, or this, that, and the other. But anyways, a bit longer than I thought this video was going to be, but like I said, I'm glad we watched it, and yeah, we will be watching more videos in the future. See you guys next time. Peace.